Listen to me now, and listen with every ounce of your being. Do not drift. Do not let another distraction steal from your destiny. I am about to reveal a law that governs your life, whether you know it or not. It is the law of attraction. And the way you are using it right now may be building your defeat or shaping your fortune. You must listen. I did not say hear, I said listen, because hearing passes through the ears. But listening, true listening, imprints upon the subconscious and commands your belief. And belief shapes your world. This law is not new, it is eternal. It is the reason some men rise from nothing and command empires, while others, with the same tools, rot in mediocrity. Listen now, and you will understand how Andrew Carnegie attracted steel, how Thomas Edison attracted invention, how Henry Ford attracted power, and how every great man who has ever lived pulled success into his life by the magnet of thought, backed by faith, decision, and action. Listen, and you will understand why your own results have been what they are. But if you do not listen, if you skip, if you wander, if you promise yourself you'll come back later, understand this. You have already heard this law before, not in words perhaps, but in experience. Every time you feared and your fears came true, every time you hesitated and the opportunity vanished, every time you said, that always happens to me, that was the law working, and you did not know it. You have already attracted the life you live. You are already magnetizing people, events, conditions, and results every day. The only question is, are you doing it on purpose? Are you doing it with power? Are you doing it by decision or by default? Listen to me now, and I will give you the structure. Ignore me, and you will continue to live by accident. This law responds to your dominant thought. It obeys emotion. It answers repetition. It cannot be bribed. It cannot be tricked. And it cannot be silenced. And if you listen to this entire instruction, if you give me your full mind, I will teach you how to use it deliberately, how to aim it like a rifle, and how to gain everything you truly want. You may never hear this truth again, not with this clarity, not with this force, not with this conviction, and one day you will remember this moment, and you will either say, that was the hour I began to live, or that was the hour I walked away from everything I could have had. And the difference will be whether you listened or not. So listen. Listen as if your freedom depends on it, because it does. Listen as if your fortune depends on it, because it does. Listen as if your time is running out, because it is. Listen with urgency, with stillness, with full obedience, and I promise you, this law, once understood and applied, will bring into your life everything you truly desire. Whatever you hold in your mind consistently and with emotion, you will attract into your life. This is not theory, this is law. Thought, held long enough and felt deeply enough, will move the forces of the unseen to shape your reality. It will attract the people, circumstances, conditions, and results that match its tone. What you think about, you move toward. Thought is the seed of all achievement, not merely a passing notion, but thought backed by faith, obsession, and repetition. The man who rules his thought rules his life. The man who drifts in thought drifts in life. Thoughts are not illusions. Thoughts are things. They are spiritual forces wrapped in vibration, and they carry the same power that builds empires or ruins them. If you wish to control your results, you must first command your thinking. You must not think casually. You must not entertain thoughts of defeat and expect success. You must not think fear and expect courage. Whatever you dwell upon internally, you will see externally. The world you live in is the mirror of your inner dialogue. Every material success began with thought. Every invention, every fortune, every movement, every towering life achievement first existed in the invisible form of an idea, magnified by belief and confirmed by decisive action. The thought came first, and it did not pass quickly. It was held, repeated, obsessed over, until it materialized. But I warn you now, idle thoughts produce idle lives. Vague desires attract nothing. Scattered attention is like scattering seed in a storm. It will never take root. If your mind is undisciplined, your results will reflect it. If you think on lack, poverty, limitation, and fear, you are attracting their presence with every repetition. Controlled attention is the key. This is the hidden discipline of the successful. The ability to hold one thought, one desire, one image with absolute focus. To refuse all contrary impressions. To speak of it, think of it, write of it, until it becomes fixed in the subconscious. Then, and only then, does the world begin to respond. Let us not mistake this for fantasy. The law of attraction is not a whim. It is not daydreaming. It is not idle wishing. It is definite thought backed by definite purpose. It is mental obedience, emotional focus, thought that burns, desire that does not leave, and belief that walks forward even when the path is invisible. Thomas Edison did not hope for the electric light. He saw it in his mind. He thought of it day and night. He visualized it. He believed it was possible even when the world called him foolish. He held that thought like a man holding fire. And after 10,000 attempts, he drew the result into his hands. That is the power of held thought. Thought alone is not enough, but thought is the beginning. It is the spark, the foundation, the architect's plan, the blueprint of destiny. Without it, nothing begins. And so I ask you now, what are you holding in your mind? What picture dominates your thought? Is it vague or definite? Fearful or empowered? Passive or fiery with purpose? You must choose your dominant thought. You must write it. You must speak it. You must see it in your imagination each morning and each night. It must become so familiar to you that it is as real as the chair you sit on. And once it is that real in your mind, it begins to take shape in your world. Do not allow contrary thoughts to enter. The mind, once planted, must be guarded like a garden. Remove weeds quickly, reject doubt, starve fear. When they appear, and they will, you must answer them aloud. This thought is not of my aim. I do not accept it. I think only on what I have chosen. You may say, that is difficult. But I say no, it is discipline. It is what every great man must do. No empire was built by weak thought. No success was drawn into the life of the scattered. You are not weak. You are not here to drift. You are here to think on purpose and to attract by law what you have chosen by thought. Let me give you your first instruction. Today, write your dominant thought. Write it clearly. Speak it aloud 5 times this morning and 5 times before you sleep. And tomorrow, do the same, and the day after. And when doubt comes, return to your thought. Repeat it, declare it, until it becomes who you are. This is the first principle of the law of attraction as I teach it. It is not magic, it is law. And law does not care for your feelings. It obeys your repetition. It moves in the direction of your focus. And it begins with thought. Not once, not twice, but daily, hourly, relentlessly. I will ask you now, what are you attracting? Not what you say you want, but what you think about most. The answer is in your life already. Look at your results. They reflect your inner conversation. If you desire change, begin where all power begins, with thought, and not casual thought, but controlled attention backed by burning desire. Repeat after me. I am the master of my thoughts. I choose what I attract. I think only what supports my aim. I hold my desire with discipline. I do not drift. I do not fear. I think on purpose, and I attract what I have chosen. Say it aloud now, again, until it takes root. You must speak it into your subconscious. The mind is not changed through listening. It is changed through repetition, through command, through instruction. And you are the only one who can give it. Thought is the seed. Guard the seed. Water it daily. Shield it from doubt. Repeat it aloud. Act upon it. And watch what begins to grow. It is not enough to think. You must feel what you think. You must repeat what you feel. For it is not thought alone that attracts, it is emotion-charged, repeated thought that becomes magnetic. The law of attraction does not respond to cold intellect. It responds to burning faith, to emotion, to belief that is spoken, lived, and held with intensity. The subconscious mind does not speak the language of logic. It does not reason. It accepts what is repeated and what is felt. This is why men say, "I always fail," and find it to be true. Not because the world has conspired against them, but because they repeated the feeling of failure until their own mind believed it and summoned it. You must understand, fear, doubt, worry, these are not harmless thoughts. They are commands. They are seeds. They are repeated prayers in reverse, and they carry weight when you dwell on them with emotion. Just as desire attracts success, fear attracts defeat. You cannot hold both and expect greatness. So what must you do? You must use autosuggestion. You must speak aloud what you intend to believe. You must say it clearly, with conviction, again and again, until your mind accepts it as reality. You do not wait to believe, you repeat to believe. That is the method of all transformation. Do not say, "I hope to succeed." Say, "I am a man of success. I attract strength. I attract opportunity. I attract belief. I am becoming everything I have decided to become." Speak it with energy. Speak it when you rise and before you sleep. Speak it when you feel fear. Speak it when you feel weak. That is when it matters most. Repeat this now. I attract success by thinking success. I become wealth by thinking wealth. I draw strength by thinking strength. My thoughts, felt with emotion, shape my reality. This is not mere inspiration. This is scientific law. The subconscious mind responds to the tone of your repetition. That tone is emotion. You must not only speak, it must matter to you. Your declaration must stir your soul. It must sound like a man who believes, not a man who hopes. Let me show you this law in action. Henry Ford, when told his vision for the V8 engine was impossible, did not accept defeat. He held the belief. He repeated the command. He felt the truth of it in advance. His engineers said it could not be done. He said, "Do it anyway." And they did. That is the law at work. Why did it work? Because Ford's repetition was felt. He did not say, "Maybe." He said, "I will." He believed with emotion. And that belief shaped the thinking of his men, which shaped their action, which shaped their result. That is the chain of command in the invisible world. Thought, feeling, belief, attraction, action, result. Now consider your own words. What do you repeat daily? Are your words drenched in belief or soaked in fear? Do you repeat what you want or what you dread? Do you say, "It's possible" or "It's hopeless"? Every phrase is planting. Every repetition is construction. And you are the builder. This is why you must watch your speech. You must remove from your language every phrase that undermines your belief. Do not say, "It never works out for me." Do not say, "I always fail." Do not say, "This is too hard." You are cursing your own field with those words. And the law of attraction does not judge. It obeys. Replace such speech with declarations of power. Everything is working for me. I attract the people and ideas I need. I move forward every day. My belief grows with repetition. The mind, when trained in this way, becomes your ally. It begins to bring to your attention the right opportunities, the right actions, the right solutions. You will say, "Things are lining up." But they are not lining up by chance. They are obeying the magnetic force you are generating through repetition and emotion. If you want your belief to be strong, you must rehearse it daily. Think of it like a muscle. The man who lifts daily becomes strong. The man who repeats belief aloud daily becomes unshakable. This is not arrogance. It is conditioning. You are not boasting. You are commanding your subconscious. Here is your exercise. Every morning, repeat your definite chief aim aloud, not softly, not passively, but with strength. See the image, Feel the success. Let your words carry the emotion of certainty. Speak as if it is already yours. That feeling, that inner conviction, is what begins to attract it to you. Throughout the day, when negative feelings rise, stop and repeat your affirmation out loud, not in your head. The spoken word, felt deeply, is the builder of belief. It pierces the old conditioning and begins to rewire your attraction. Speak with fire, speak with truth. Speak with the voice of the man you are becoming. Most men drift because they let emotion control them. But you will control your emotion with decision, and then use that emotion to fuel belief. You will no longer feed your mind with fear. You will no longer use repetition to attract confusion. You will discipline your focus and master your inner state. Understand this clearly. The law of attraction is activated by repetition, but it is amplified by emotion. Say the right words. Feel them deeply. Say them often. That is the path. That is the formula. And that is why most fail. They do not repeat, or they repeat the wrong thing. Now I ask you, what words are you willing to rehearse for the next 90 days? What emotion are you willing to call forth daily until it burns in you like fire? Are you willing to discipline your thought, to guard your speech, to choose your vibration? If not, you will remain a servant of circumstance. But if yes, you become a commander of destiny. Say this again. I do not drift. I do not fear. I think and feel on purpose. I repeat belief daily. I attract exactly what I decide to become. This is the force that shapes nations. This is the law that builds fortunes. This is the discipline that separates the dreamer from the doer. Most will not do this. Most will listen once and forget. But you will rehearse until you believe. You will believe until you act. You will act until you become. That is the cycle. And you now know how to run it. Without a definite aim, the law of attraction has no clear target. It is like fire without direction, dangerous, unfocused, and ineffective. But with a definite purpose, a burning desire, and a clearly written aim, your mind becomes a magnet for opportunity, power, people, and events. What you want must be clear, fixed, and demanded of life, not vaguely wished for. You must write your desire in the form of a definite chief aim. It must be so specific that your subconscious can see it, hold it, and begin working on it immediately. If you cannot state in one clear sentence what you want to become, what you want to earn, and what you are willing to give, then you are still drifting. And drifting attracts only more of itself. The law of attraction is not random. It is precise. It reflects the frequency of your belief. The more definite your aim, the more power you possess. The vaguer your aim, the weaker your attraction. Think of it. No architect ever built a structure from an unclear sketch. No general ever won a war without a clear target. No man ever built wealth by vague desire. Your mind is a broadcasting station. It sends out vibrations constantly, and what you send, you attract. When you hold one clear thought with emotion and persistence, the entire universe begins arranging itself to match your message. This is not fantasy. This is law. The clearer your message, the more accurate your results. Let us look at a man who used this law with precision, Andrew Carnegie. Before he earned his first great fortune, he decided upon his purpose. He wrote that his mission was to distribute wealth for the benefit of mankind. That decision attracted to him the opportunities, resources, and people necessary to amass the fortune first. He did not wait to be wealthy to choose his purpose. He chose first, then attracted what he needed. Your chief aim must dominate your mind. It must be the first thought in the morning and the last thought at night. You must write it, repeat it, speak it aloud until it is written in your subconscious with fire. It must become who you are, not what you hope for, but what you claim. Here is your instruction. Take out paper. Write your chief aim. It must state exactly what you desire, when you desire it by, and what you will give in return. This is your covenant. This is your law. Speak it aloud morning and night. Post it on your wall. Carry it in your pocket. Think of it until the very cells of your being vibrate with it. Say this with me now. I know exactly what I want. I have a definite chief aim. I speak it. I act upon it. I attract it through faith and repetition. This aim is not a decoration. It is not a poem. It is your command to the universe. It is your declaration of identity. When you write it, speak it, and believe it, you begin the process of attraction. When you ignore it, doubt it, or postpone it, you halt the law, and your life reflects disorder. I have studied thousands of successful men, and I tell you plainly, not one of them lacked a definite purpose. Not one drifted into greatness. Not one became wealthy by accident. They all began with a mental blueprint, written, spoken, affirmed, and burned into their minds. You must do the same. You may say, but I have many desires. Then I say to you, choose one. The mind cannot magnetize multiple aims with the same force. You must focus. You must discipline your attention. Choose one burning desire, one definite outcome, and you will attract what is necessary to bring it into form. A confused mind attracts confusion. A distracted mind attracts delays. But a definite mind, focused, believing, and committed, becomes an irresistible force. That is the secret. That is what every great man understood. And that is what you must now obey. Let your definite chief aim become your obsession. Let it replace doubt. Let it silence fear. Let it command your hours. Let it inform your reading, your speaking, your associations. When others speak of problems, you will speak only of your aim. When others drift, you will walk with direction. Repeat this. Without a definite aim, I am nothing. With one, I am powerful. I claim my aim. I focus on it daily. I attract every means to fulfill it. This is the magnet. This is the tool. This is the anchor of all attraction. Do not proceed with anything else in this instruction until your chief aim is written, visible, and repeated with feeling. This is not a step you complete. This is a principle you live. Do not let a day pass without reading it aloud. Do not end a day without measuring your actions against it. Every time you speak your aim with belief, you are aligning your thought, feeling, and action. That alignment, repeated, becomes power, and power attracts results. If you skip this, you will fall into mental wandering, and wandering attracts nothing but distraction and exhaustion. Your energy must be fixed. Your goal must be known. Your mind must be pointed. And when it is, watch how fast life begins to rearrange itself around you. Now let me ask you, what is your aim? Is it written? Is it definite? Do you see it daily? Do you speak it aloud? Do you feel it with emotion? If not, go back. Do not move forward until it is done. This is the foundation. Without it, the rest of the instruction has no root. Do not say, I'll do it later. That is the voice of the drifter. That is the whisper of failure. Say instead, I claim my purpose now. I write it now. I repeat it now. I become it now. That is how the law is activated. That is how belief is born. That is how attraction begins. Nothing is attracted to doubt. No success, no fortune, no opportunity, no power is drawn to a man who hesitates. All success is attracted to faith, to the man who believes without visible proof, who acts in the face of uncertainty, who walks forward before the path appears. Faith is not a feeling. Faith is a decision. Faith is mental discipline backed by repetition. Let us be clear. Faith is not inherited. Faith is not found. Faith is built. It is created. It is manufactured through a deliberate system of thought, word, and action. You will not wake up one day and find faith lying in your pocket. You will develop it the same way you develop muscle, through repetition and demand. Faith is the only antidote to fear. And where there is no faith, there is fear. Where there is fear, attraction is reversed. You may desire wealth, but if you fear loss more than you believe in gain, you are attracting poverty. The law does not judge your intentions. It obeys your dominant belief. And faith, true, burning faith, is your only tool to override that fear. Let me give you the method. It is not a secret. I gave it in Think and Grow Rich. It is the self-confidence formula. Repeat this daily. I know that I have the ability to achieve the object of my definite chief aim in life. Therefore, I demand of myself persistent, aggressive, continuous action toward its attainment, and I here and now promise to render such action. Speak that aloud until you believe it, not once, not twice, but daily. With feeling, with commitment, with energy, your subconscious must hear your voice filled with belief. That is how it learns. That is how it obeys. That is how it builds faith. Faith is the medium of all attraction. It is the bridge between the invisible and the visible. It is what turns desire into demand. It is what gives substance to your image. You must not merely see what you want. You must believe in it so deeply that you act as though it were already real. Let me give you an example. A man I have spoken of many times, Abraham Lincoln. He faced years of defeat, humiliation, mockery, and setback. But deep within, he held a belief, a knowing that he was destined to serve a great mission. That belief did not come from his environment. It came from his own inner command. That faith became his armor. You too must wear that armor. You too must walk into your life with belief that transcends sight. If your environment does not yet match your desire, you must not let it sway your faith. The law does not respond to your current reality. It responds to your internal command. Your subconscious does not know the difference between real and imagined. Give it the picture you choose and back it with faith. But beware. Fear is also magnetic. If you dwell on what you fear, you draw it to you. If you obsess over what might go wrong, you are magnetizing those very conditions. You must starve fear. You must drown it with words of belief. You must burn it out with repetition of truth. So here is your daily practice. Read your definite chief aim aloud, twice a day. Feel it. Visualize it. Speak it with confidence. Follow it with affirmations like, through faith and decision, I attract all that I need. My belief is stronger than my environment. I do not fear delay. I do not fear failure. I only see my outcome, and it is already mine. Every time you do this, you are feeding your subconscious the food of faith. You are watering the seed of desire. You are strengthening the magnet of attraction. And every time you skip it, you are weakening the structure. This is not optional. This is the system. This is the discipline of attraction. You must decide now, will you believe? Will you act in spite of fear? Will you speak faith, even when your world has not yet changed? The man who waits for evidence before he believes is a slave to circumstances. But the man who commands belief creates the circumstances he desires. Faith is not a mystery. It is a habit. It is the result of speaking what you want, feeling it as real, and walking in alignment with it again and again and again, until your mind cannot help but accept it. And once accepted, it becomes law in your subconscious. That is when attraction begins to move swiftly. Do not let others' disbelief infect you. Their fears are not your responsibility. Your faith must be sacred. Guard it. Speak it. Build it. Live it. And understand this. The moment you begin to walk in faith, the world will test you. That is not punishment. That is preparation. That is the law asking, do you truly believe, or are you playing with words? So I ask you again, what do you believe? Do you believe in your aim? Do you believe in your worth? Do you believe in the law? If yes, show it, speak it, declare it, walk in it, think in it. Let no fear enter your mind without being expelled by repetition of truth. Repeat this with me now. My belief is stronger than my environment. My faith is built daily. I attract what I believe. I magnetize success. I command power. I walk in the unseen until it becomes the seen. Say it again and again until it becomes part of you. You are not drifting anymore. You are building a magnetic field of belief, and that field, once saturated, will pull to you everything you require. No amount of thought will attract success unless it is backed by organized, persistent planning. You may possess the clearest desire, the strongest faith, the most powerful affirmations, but unless you transform these into definite plans of action, you will draw nothing but frustration. Attraction does not reward thought alone. It rewards thought that moves. The law of attraction obeys precision. It magnifies clarity. A vague plan attracts vague results. An idle dream attracts idle circumstances. But a definite aim, backed by an organized, intelligent plan, becomes unstoppable. The plan is what turns belief into blueprint and blueprint into building. This is how thought becomes reality. Let us state it plainly. Attraction without action is fantasy, but attraction with organized, directed action is inevitable success. This law does not respond to lazy faith. It responds to committed execution. It answers the man who rises early, who writes his day's purpose, who orders his mind and movements around his aim. Your mind must not only hold the image of what you want, it must hold the structure, the steps, the sequence, the system. When you impress your subconscious with a clear plan, it goes to work. It begins to see opportunities where none appeared. It begins to alert you to people, conversations, and events that match your structure. Consider Charles M. Schwab. He did not attract millions by guessing. He created plans, he reviewed them, he adapted them, he measured his progress, he acted daily, he worked in harmony with the plan and in obedience to his aim. That is why Carnegie trusted him. That is why results followed him. Attraction followed order. So I give you now the formula. Every night review your chief aim. Then plan the following day in direct service of that aim. List the actions, prioritize them, write them with pen and paper. When you rise, review the list again. Let your day be lived in execution, not reaction. Let your hours serve your plan, not your habits. Understand this. Each small plan, executed daily, compounds into a life of definiteness. Each hour planned and fulfilled becomes a brick in your temple of success. Attraction multiplies when you multiply your obedience to structure. The man who lives by written plan attracts results with increasing speed. Here is your command. Never again end a day without planning the next. Never again rise without reviewing your purpose. If your day is unplanned, your life is uncommanded. If your hours are wasted, your thoughts are wasted. And if your thoughts are wasted, attraction cannot respond. Repeat after me. I plan my day in service of my purpose. I act with precision. I do not drift. I attract order because I live by order. My plan is my path. Most men will never do this. They will dream. They will wish. They will affirm, but they will not plan. And so their power fades. But you will rise above them by doing what they neglect. You will make written planning a ritual. And that ritual will unlock forces most men never touch. Let me give you a warning. Chaos in the mind attracts chaos in life. If your goals are scattered, your time is uncontrolled, your thoughts undirected, then what comes to you will reflect that condition. Life will not reward disorder. The law of attraction will not bless confusion. It demands a clear signal. And that signal is structure. Now you may ask, but what if my plan fails? Then revise it. The plan is not your master, it is your servant, but you must have one. You must begin with structure and adapt with experience. The man who fails forward is still far ahead of the man who waits for perfect certainty. You may start with a simple plan. 1 page, 5 actions, 3 priorities. That is enough, but it must be written. It must be visible. It must be reviewed. It must be obeyed. This is the rhythm that builds belief, and belief attracts power. If you act only when inspired, you will fail. If you act only when you feel ready, you will delay forever. But if you act because it is written, you create movement. And movement breeds belief. Belief feeds attraction. That is the cycle. That is the machinery of success. Repeat this again. I write my plans. I live by structure. I obey my purpose. I attract success by organizing my thought into action. Let this become your law. Let your schedule reflect your desire. Let your calendar reveal your identity. Do not let another day be wasted in indecision. Do not let another hour slip away in vague activity. Life belongs to the man who orders it. So now ask yourself, have I written today's plan? Does it serve my chief aim? Did I execute yesterday's? If not, return. Begin again. This discipline is not optional. It is the foundation of attraction. It is the wheel by which thought moves forward. One final truth. No man can attract what he refuses to plan for, and no man can hold what he did not prepare for. The man who prepares, who organizes, who directs his effort, he attracts not only the outcome, but the power to sustain it. Your environment is either reinforcing your attraction or interrupting it. You may believe, you may speak your chief aim, you may plan and act. But if the voices around you are filled with fear, doubt, complaint, gossip, or sarcasm, then your belief is under attack. And if belief is under attack, attraction becomes unstable. The subconscious is always listening, always. It listens to the words you speak. It listens to the tone of your company. It listens to the music, the gossip, the talk around the table, and the books on your shelf. And what it hears repeatedly, with emotion, it begins to accept. Your mind becomes what it is surrounded by. Therefore, your inner circle is not casual. It is not neutral. It is not a coincidence. It is the field of influence that feeds or poisons your mental magnet. If you are surrounded by the aimless, you will think aimlessly. If you associate with the mediocre, you will begin to feel that mediocrity is acceptable. If your ears hear doubt, they begin to echo it. The man who attracts greatness does not tolerate the company of the weak-minded. He does not subject himself to conversations that contradict his purpose. He does not seek comfort from those who pity, excuse, or soften his pursuit. He surrounds himself with the definite, men and women who believe, decide, and act with intensity. This is the mastermind principle. It is not mere friendship. It is the deliberate alliance of focused minds, harmonized in purpose, held together by confidence and clarity. It is the welding of faith and decision in multiple minds, amplifying belief and accelerating attraction. Let us take example from Edison, Ford, and Firestone. These men did not meet to complain. They did not gather to waste time. They met to think, to speak of vision, to strengthen one another's belief. Their minds, unified by purpose, created a field of power that attracted fortune, ideas, and execution. Now ask yourself, who do I meet with? Who do I speak with daily? Do their words build me or blur me? Do they sharpen my belief or weaken it? Every voice in your ear is planting a seed, and your subconscious does not know the difference between what is said in jest and what is said in truth. If the seed is repeated, it begins to grow. You must now decide, whose words do I allow into my garden? Whose beliefs do I borrow? Whose vibration do I carry? The answer to these questions will predict your results, for the law of attraction works best in harmony, and it shuts down when surrounded by noise, contradiction, and internal conflict. Here is your command. Cut ties with doubt. That does not mean you hate others. That does not mean you judge, but it means you are loyal to your purpose first. It means you choose your input with the same discipline as you choose your food. You would not eat poison. Why allow it into your thoughts? You must now limit all intake that weakens belief. Whether it comes from a friend, a family member, a book, a letter, or a voice in your own mind, it must be silenced. You are building a magnetic force, and that field must be pure. It must be fueled by faith, repetition, planning, and decision, not by chatter and confusion. Now replace your surroundings. Surround yourself with definite voices, with writings that reinforce purpose, with speech that uplifts, commands, affirms, with music that energizes, with faces that challenge you to rise higher. That is the new soil in which attraction grows. Repeat after me. I choose only influences that increase my power. I surround myself with minds of purpose. I attract only what is aligned with my aim. I am loyal to my vision. I reject all voices that weaken it. Let that be your oath. Say it every morning, every time you feel the pull of old company, of draining conversation, of trivial speech. Repeat that oath. Guard your subconscious. You are the gatekeeper. You are the watchman. What enters must be permitted by your decision. Understand this. You may walk alone for a season, and that is noble. Better to walk alone with purpose than in company without it. The man who walks with the mob attracts the results of the mob. The man who walks alone in direction attracts the path prepared for him by his vision. But do not stay alone. Build your mastermind. Seek one or two or three minds who believe. Share your aim. Unite in harmony. Affirm one another. Plan together. Speak as if success were already won. That vibration, when held in unity, attracts with a power no single mind can equal. This is not a suggestion. It is a law. The mind is shaped by the minds around it. If you want to attract new results, surround yourself with new voices. Create an environment that is holy ground for belief. Let no weeds grow there. Let no enemy speak there. Let no doubt be entertained. Now look around. Who must be removed? What must be silenced? What voices must be answered with silence? Who must be honored but distanced? That is your work now. Remove the hidden thieves of belief. Cut the cords. Purify the circle. Strengthen the field. Then watch what happens. Your energy will rise. Your belief will harden. Your action will sharpen. Your results will appear faster. And you will begin to attract not only what you want, but who you must become to hold it. Nothing is attracted to inaction. Belief without movement is deception. Thought without action is hallucination. The law of attraction is activated through thought, yes, but it is sealed through action. It is your action that proves to your subconscious you are serious. It is your action that sets the spiritual machinery in motion. Every act you take, however small, is a declaration to the universe. I believe. Every time you move forward, even without evidence, you are confirming to infinite intelligence that you trust the law. And that trust is what multiplies momentum. The man who acts in spite of fear attracts courage. The man who waits to feel ready attracts delay. Hesitation is the signal of doubt, and doubt reverses the current of attraction. If you think with belief, speak with conviction, plan with precision, but hesitate to act, then all your mental magnetism is lost. Attraction obeys decisiveness. It responds to obedience. It does not wait for you to be perfect. It waits for you to begin. Action generates momentum, and momentum generates faith. When you act, you confirm your desire to yourself. When you act, you silence the voices of fear. When you act, you build the confidence that no affirmation can fully provide. Action proves belief, and that proof becomes a command to your subconscious. John D. Rockefeller began as a humble clerk. He did not wait for wealth to find him. He studied. He saved. He calculated. He took risks. He acted. Each decision reinforced his belief. Each movement confirmed his aim. And through decades of relentless action, he built a fortune. Not by magic, but by motion. Your mind is waiting for confirmation. You have declared your chief aim. You have spoken your affirmations. You have visualized your future. But until you move your feet, the mind does not fully accept the command. The moment you act, the belief sinks deeper. The attraction becomes stronger. The results become visible. Here is your daily practice. Every day take one action in service of your aim, large or small. Make the call, write the letter, study the page, make the sale. Refuse the distraction. The size of the act is not what matters. It is the consistency that builds power. That rhythm becomes identity, and identity magnetizes destiny. Repeat after me. I act boldly, I move in faith, I attract by doing, my results multiply because I move daily toward my purpose. You must silence the desire for perfection. The man who waits to act perfectly will never act. The path becomes clear only after you begin walking. The universe reveals its steps only to the man in motion. Start now. Start small. Start clumsy, but start. For the law blesses the obedient, not the hesitant. Do not wait for signs. You are the sign. You are the one who decides. You are the one who initiates. You are the one who tells your mind, your body, and the world. This is who I am. This is what I demand. And this is what I am building. Step by step, day by day, hour by hour. Action also sharpens your plan. It reveals what works. It exposes what doesn't. It brings feedback. It forces growth. And it keeps you too occupied to entertain the voices of doubt. A man in motion is immune to drifting, and drifting is the destroyer of attraction. Now take inventory. What have you done today to move closer to your aim? Not what you thought, not what you wished, but what you did. If the answer is nothing, then begin now. Do not wait. You know what must be done. You know what the next step is. Take it, no matter how small. Take it now. The man who acts builds identity. Each act adds another layer, and identity becomes destiny. If you act like a leader, you become one. If you act like a disciplined man, you become one. If you act in alignment with your aim, you draw it faster into your life. That is the path. That is the method. Repeat this. I do not hesitate. I do not wait. I act now. I act daily. I act in faith. My action is my proof. My movement is my magnet. Let this affirmation be written on your wall. Say it aloud each morning before your work begins. Do not think first. Move first. Action clears the fog. It breaks the fear. It builds the foundation. And it trains your subconscious that you are serious. That is when the law obeys. Now understand this final truth. The law of attraction does not reward the man who listens. It rewards the man who listens and applies. It rewards the man who obeys his plan, who writes his actions, who executes daily, who takes the invisible and makes it visible through labor, through motion, through obedience to purpose. You must never forget, this law is always working. It never stops. It never sleeps. It never waits for your permission. You are either using it deliberately or allowing it to operate by accident. The law of attraction responds to your dominant thought, your dominant belief, your dominant emotion, whether those were chosen by you or by your environment. This is the great danger of drifting. The drifter does not attract what he desires. He attracts what is loudest in his surroundings. He attracts what others believe. He attracts what he fears. His results are not his own. They are inherited from his conditions. And so his life becomes a mirror of everything he did not choose. You must never drift again. Now that you know the law, you can no longer pretend not to. Now that you understand the process, every hesitation becomes sabotage. Every lazy hour becomes a crack in the structure. Every day without belief, without repetition, without action is a day that weakens your magnet. Let me ask you, have you taken notes? Have you written your chief aim? Have you read it aloud today? Have you spoken your affirmations with emotion? Have you visualized your goal clearly? Have you moved your feet, taken action, refused distraction? If the answer is no to any of these, go back, listen again, begin again. Do not waste this knowledge. The man who listens once and moves on is a fool. The man who listens daily, who repeats, who affirms, who studies, he becomes dangerous. He installs belief like brick into the subconscious, and those bricks become the structure of attraction. You must repeat. You must drill. You must program your mind for power. I do not say this for inspiration. I say it for instruction. The mind must be conditioned. Just as the body becomes strong through physical training, the mind becomes magnetic through mental training. You must listen to power daily. You must read your purpose daily. You must speak your vision daily. Not once, not when you feel like it, but daily, every single day. What you repeat with belief, you become. What you repeat with emotion, you attract. What you repeat with action, you manifest. Repetition is the gateway. Repetition is the bridge. Repetition is the means by which belief is transferred from the conscious mind to the subconscious. And the subconscious, once convinced, begins to rearrange the universe around you. This is not poetry. This is law. It is what built Carnegie's empire. It is what carried Edison through 10,000 failures. It is what gave Ford the courage to attempt the impossible. They repeated belief until belief became identity. Identity became action. Action became habit. Habit became circumstance. And that is how they rose. I give you now your final daily instruction. Write your definite chief aim. Post it where your eyes must see it. Read it aloud in the morning and again before sleep. Visualize the outcome with detail and emotion. Say your affirmations as if they were commands. Move your feet. Track your time. Control your input. Guard your environment. Do this not once, not for a week, but until it is who you are, until it is second nature, until it requires no effort, until your very presence radiates power, until your results reflect everything you have written, spoken, and built internally. Say this now. I attract what I think. I magnetize what I believe. I act on what I decide. I repeat what I want. I command what I become. Let it burn into you. Let it echo throughout your hours. Let it silence every doubt. Let it answer every excuse. Let it carry you when your mood fades, when your energy dips, when your fear speaks. Let your repetition be stronger than your circumstances. And now a final question. Will you live this once, or will you live this daily? If you live it once, you may be inspired. If you live it daily, you will be transformed. Choose now. Choose every morning. Choose every night. Choose when you rise and when you rest. The repetition is the transformation. Many will hear these words and forget them, but not you. You will remember. You will rehearse. You will review. You will re-listen, not for entertainment, but for identity, for belief, for power, for dominion over your thought and command over your results. This is why I say, return to this message daily. Return to your notes. Return to your plan. Do not listen once. Listen until it lives in you. Let it replace your weakness. Let it rebuild your thoughts. Let it form your new pattern of living. That is the path. That is the secret. That is the law. You now know the truth. And the truth, once known, removes all excuses. You can no longer say, I don't understand. You can no longer say, I didn't know how. The method has been given. The blueprint has been laid. The law has been revealed. It is now your responsibility. It is now your command. It is now your life. The law is working. The only question is, what are you commanding it to bring you?